So, Tony, it's the age-old question in college football versus the NFL, where a head coach in the NFL or coordinators can point to the front office and say, they didn't get me good enough players.
Right.
It rests with the head coach completely top to bottom, A through Z at the collegiate level. Jim Mora has recruited extremely well at UCLA. You would think that the defense would be much better. Ravaged by injuries last year. I don't know exactly what the toll has been taken physically on this team on that side of the football here in 2017. But how does this speak to the performance of defensive coordinator Tom Bradley, who's got a pretty impressive resume?
Yeah, honestly, I was surprised that Bradley wasn't Lane Kiffin at Tucson Airport on Saturday, left on the tarmac to fend for himself, because this defense is horrible. And, you talked about the recruits, and I remember on National Letter of Intent Day, you and I talked about it, and one of the things I said was Jim Mora is getting good classes with 2 or 3 great players. You want to be top 10 competitive every year, you have to have great classes. And he's getting top 20 classes with 2 or 3 5-star players in there. It's not good enough, because then when you have injuries, you're not deep enough to compete at the Pac-12 level or on the major top 10 or even top 20 level of college football. And that's a problem they're having. They went through 3 straight games where they lost a player for a half because of the targeting penalties. They lost Jalen Phillips, who is an outstanding freshman at defensive end. He's had a high ankle sprain and been out since the Memphis game. But beyond that, there's just not enough depth on this defense to make up for injuries or losses to suspension or just whatever the case may be. There's not enough depth because the recruiting has been good. It hasn't been very good to great. It's been in that really middle range. Darnay Holmes is a terrific defensive back as a freshman. But again, we're talking about last year's recruiting class was good with 2 to 3 great players. That's not enough to be a top 20 team in college football every year.